everybody was singing Sri Guru Charana Padma, and Prabhupada was on the Vyasasana, and he was also closing his eyes and playing kartal and singing. So I asked Lokanath Swami, isn't this a song in glorification of Prabhupada? And he said, yes. So I said, how come he himself is singing it? So he said, he's singing it to his spiritual master. Because the day before, Lokanath Swami has asked me for putting my name for initiation, and I said, I will tell you, not yet. And after I heard this explanation from Lokanath Swami, I said, you write my name for initiation. Then he said, why suddenly now? You know so many books, you this, that, and you always said wait, and now you're telling. So I said, yes, I'm telling because I can see that he will be my spiritual master. This is in Hindi. Oye honge means he would be my spiritual master, because when he is glorified, he is glorifying his spiritual master. So now I know that this is actually succession. So you put my name for initiation. And my name was added, Swami Atmananda. And I heard from other God brothers that Prabhupada, when he was looking at the names for initiation, he said Bhakta this, Bhakta this, Bhakta that, and he said Swami. So he said, who is this Swami? So someone told him, it's a new Bhakta. So Prabhupada said, new Bhakta Swami? And then he said, alright, what's his name? Atmananda. So then Prabhupada said, Apashyatam Atma Tattvam Griheshu Grihamedinam. His name will be Atma Tattva. So then on the initiation day, Radhashtami, before that for about 2 weeks I had some infection inside my mouth. So I couldn't brush my teeth properly. I was just gobbling with water, hot water and salt. And Delhi temple, Rajpat Nagar, very small room. It's a big Vyasasana. It's a fire is here, deities are here, fire is here, and Vyasasana is here, and Prabhupada sits at the tip of the Vyasasana like this. It's a big lotus asana. And I was like this close when I went to get the bead. So he's asking, Char niyam kya hai? So I said, no meat eating. And my mouth was like this close to his nose. And Prabhupada, he was sitting like this, and like that, and he opened his eyes. He looked at me and he said, "Aap daan teek se saaf kyun nahi karte?" Why you're not cleaning your teeth properly? So I said, infection. So he said, infection. Then he turned around, took the bead from Gopal Krishna ji, gave it to me, chant 16 rounds. It was like, infection is the observation and chant 16 rounds is his prescription. And then he said, your name is Atma Tattva Das. They banged the mridanga, Hari Bol, and I came and sat down. I was not there. I was thinking, something has happened to me. I got initiated. I have a bead and I have my guru, and I was completely emotional. So that evening, right in the lawn in front of the temple, Prabhupada is giving evening darshan. So I took the chamara, went to fan him so that I can be close. So I most probably maybe I was doing a big number on the chamara, you know, one of those, you know. So and it's Radhashtami, it's cold. So he was feeling cold. So he looked at me like that. So then I became so slow that the flies were sitting on his face. And again he looked at me like that while he was singing Radha Madhava, and I was so scared. So I didn't know whether to go fast or to go slow, but still I didn't want to give up that because I wanted to be there looking at him. So he sings Radha Madhava, and then he does Jayam prayers, and then thank you very much, and then he looks at me like this and said, material life is an infection. And there was like, some big bulldozer on my head. And then he puts his hand out, he lifts his shirt like this, and he said, you scratch, then you feel satisfied. Then he put his hand out again, you scratch more, you feel some satisfaction. You scratch more, then you stop. Not because you are satisfied, but blood comes. The rest of it I didn't hear. This line I just remember. And I was there just moving like a machine, but I was going through my whole life and I was seeing that this person has gone into me and taken an X-ray report and given to me. Here, that's what you are. Blood came. And that was very moving for me, that he taught me exactly. And I have heard many disciples saying the same thing. He was seeing through me and he said to me, and I have heard that before. And I was thinking that I had faith. I knew that happens, but you know, when it happens to you, it's totally different. Because it happened to you. It's not somebody else. So I was completely like somebody went through me inside with a ray and came out. And I was very happy. One big businessman, he came and he was saying, Swamiji, I have this factory here in Delhi and I have that factory in Zonpur. And he gave a list of his things and then he said, I have all this but I can't sleep. So Prabhupada looks at him and he says, that is why you can't sleep. You give all this to me, then you can peacefully sleep. So then he turns to somebody who was sitting there and he said, I think it was Gopal Krishnaji. He said, take his address. So this man says, no Swamiji, I can come anytime. You can come anytime, but we should also be able to come anytime. Take his address. And then he was ready, you know. So yes, and said, no, Swamiji. Prabhupada said, no, take his address. We will relieve you of your problem. You give some of these things to Krishna, then you will be peaceful. And he was like smashed right there. And he did give his address. He had to. I was cleaning the temple room in Lajpat Nagar, and this one old gentleman came and he was paying obeisances to the deities, and he said, Krishna Guruvayurappa. This Guruvayur is a deity in South India, in Kerala, and only Keralites and South Indians, they call the deity by that particular name and the accent. So I went to him and I asked him, are you from Kerala? He said, yes. And then we started talking in his language. My language is Tamil, that is Malayalam. So while we were talking, and he found out that, you know, I am initiated by Prabhupada and all that. So he said, I want to become a disciple of Swami Prabhupada. And I have asked year before, and they told me that I have to be 6 months, you know, serving in the temple. And he lifted his dhoti and showed me his leg. It was swollen up with water. And he was about above 60 years old. He said, I was a railway officer, I retired and I have big problem with my legs. And I cannot do those things that they are saying. And they said, if you cannot do, then you cannot become his disciple. So can you please do something, tell Prabhupada so that he will accept me as his disciple. So I said, I am just become disciple, and the system is the temple president has to give you recommendation. And if the temple president has told you this, then there is no question of, you know, me doing something about that. But then I said, but you can do one thing, you can just go to Prabhupada himself and ask him. These are rules set by Prabhupada, but if he wants, he can do anything. So you may go and see him. He sees people every evening. So he said, anybody can go. I said, well, it's free darshan, everybody is going. You come tomorrow and see him. Come early, so you'll be the first person. And I told him, you bring something for him. You bring a plate with some cloth, some coconut, some flowers, some sweets and some dakshina. And you bring in, give it to him. That's our tradition. You know, you're from Kerala. So he said, yes, I'll do it. Next day, he came with a big plate covered by a cloth. And it was only like 4 o'clock. Prabhupada starts giving darshan at 5, around 5. And I told him, you wait here, they will tell and they will come. Then just about 10-15 minutes later, Hari Suri Prabhu looked down and said, if anyone is there, they can come for darshan. And he was the only person. So I said, look, you're so fortunate. There's nobody. Now you just get up and go there. And he was shivering. He was saying, well, let somebody come. I said, this you don't do. You want to get something done which is not normal. So you must be there as quick as possible. Get your thing done. So he got up and I came with him. He came, he put the plate on Prabhupada's desk. And Prabhupada looked at him like this and said, yes. So this man, he was all like emotional. And he had a bead bag and a bead on top of that plate. And he was holding that like this and he said, Prabhupada, I want to chant Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada smiled at him and said, so who is stopping you? He said, Prabhupada, I want to chant Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada said, is that your bag? He said, yes. Prabhupada took that. And he said, do you know how to chant Hare Krishna? So he said, I know the mantra. And he said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prabhupada said, yes. Took the bead out. And he did like this. Comes to the head bead. And he said, you start like this. And he said, and every bead you chant the whole mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. And Prabhupada went to the next bead and went to the next bead and he chanted a whole round. Just like this. And he said, now you chant. Like he usually does when he gives initiation. And I was so blissful, I thought this man is initiated without having to sweep the floor for 6 months, etc. He could have never done it because he would die if he does that. Because he's got like a glass bottle like leg with water. How can he ever do anything like that? So I went to meet this man after some time. After traveling somewhere else, I came back, I met this man, he was still chanting. And he's got a big picture of Prabhupada in his room. The second time when I went to meet him, he was gone. And they said to me that they couldn't take the bead off his hand. And he just chanted. In last 2-3 weeks of his life, he just chanted and he didn't do anything else. And the last week, he didn't even go to the bathroom or anything. He was just one place looking at Prabhupada's picture and chanting. And the last thing they have heard was his chanting in his mouth when he left. We were starting this Bulla Card party at that time. So when the inauguration of Bulla Card party that day, I was asked to bring some prasad and to offer to Prabhupada to give for all the devotees. So I, being a stupid South Indian, so I went there and I brought coconut and gur. That's what South Indian prasad is. But these coconuts were not soft, they were very hard. And then the gur was also not good class. So I had a big plate of pieces of coconut and gur. So it was brought in front of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada looked at, what is this? So Lokanath Swami says, this is prasad for, we are starting the Bulla Card today. Oh, Bulla Card. Put his hand there. And he took a piece of coconut and gur, small one, put in his mouth. And he was talking. The talk was about how we go about when we do the Bulla Card party. What do we do? So he was having this on one side. He kept on talking. Then he will move it to this side, like this. Then to this side, to that side. This way he was keeping it till it all melted and he could actually eat it. So I was feeling very grateful, because I was thinking that I should have asked Lokanath Swami what prasad I should bring. It should have been some sandesh, because naturally this Prabhupada is so old and it's not something that hard should be given to him for eating. And even though it was unfit, he accepted that. Not only accepted that, he kept it in his mouth till he could actually eat it. It was suffering for an old person to do that, and talk also at the same time. And he went on explaining things and keeping on changing this from one side to the other side, and showing that, look, I have accepted it, and because you've given it with love, so I have taken it. Bullock cart was there, so next day when he walked around the yard, then he saw the bullock cart. We had a banner on the bullock cart which said, in a semicircle like this, it said, Bhakti Vedanta Bullock Cart Traveling Sankirtan Party. It says traveling Sankirtan. So Prabhupada stood there and he put his head like this and he was reading, Bhakti Vedanta Bullock Cart Traveling Sankirtan. And then he said, Jai. So then he came to the bulls, fed them some grass, patted on their cheek like this. Then he said that these bulls are carrying Gaur Nitai for preaching. They will go back home, back to garden. They won't have another life. I was holding the picture of Prabhupada in the front, that picture with a big flower garland, and Maharaj was in the back. We were all dancing, and the bullock cart arrived in Mayapur temple. And so we went to the temple hall first, and Navayogendra Swami was chanting there. And Lokanath was leading the kirtan. As we came in, they got together, both of them, and they had a big kirtan for another 45 minutes. By the time it was already 11 o'clock, over 11. So then Maharaj said, well, let's go and see Prabhupada. And we were all climbing upstairs. And Hari Surya was standing there like this. He said, you can't go now. It's 11 o'clock. What is all this noise? Keep quiet, go back. Prabhupada is tired, he's sick, and he was standing there like this. And we were looking, like that. Prabhupada came out of his bathroom and turned to go into his room. And he was opening the door like this, and then he just turned this way and he saw us. He said, oh, bullock cart party, come. And Prabhu is standing here and we are all going this way, that way, over him. He's still standing there trying to stop us, at least trying to stop some of us. Everyone was in. Prabhupada sat down, wiped his nose like this, and he said, so, Lokanath Swami, how are you? And he seemed to be gaining strength. And he looked very tired, but he was becoming stronger. And he had this bottle of barfi. He opened that and he gave everyone one piece. And he asked, where were you last night? So Lokanath Swami said, this Gaudiya Math in Navadvip, one Gaudiya Math, they charged us 2 rupees per head to sleep in a kirtan mandap in front of the deities, which had no roof. Means they were charging us for the sky. 2 rupees each per head. And Prabhupada laughed and he said, oh, this is nothing. And he said, mutts, it's a big thing. He said, they used to use the shalagram for cracking the bitter nuts. He said, this is called mutt. And he said, this is what happens to the Brahmins. And like that. And then he said, then he asked every single, after Allahabad, till Mayapur, he was asking, did you go to this village? Did you meet this man there? He said, did you go to Fatehpur? Did you see that Gaur Nitai Bhavan? Those nice deities? Did you visit there? And then it was like every single thing that was green in our memory, he was saying. And he said, You know how I know these places? Because I have gone to every single place for preaching. He said, I was staying in Gaunitai Bhavan. And then he was telling, did he go here, did he go there? And he said, how did you do the Bihar side? How did you do the Bengal side? Were you in Bardwan? So Loknath Swami said, yes, we came by the truck, but we got down in Bardwan and we started from there. Like that. And he was talking for a long time. Most probably he was talking for over an hour. And then he said, now that you have come to Mayapur, now you should go to Puri. Like that. And that was the last thing he said. And,